To start off the year in Madden 24, it has been really hard to get consistent stops on defense. So I wanted to create an insane blitz package that you can use against those heavy passing offenses or when you get a team into spots where they are forced to pass. This scheme is going to guarantee you a ton of pressure in on the QB where you can use it to rack up sacks, or you can speed up the QB and force him to throw some bad balls into coverage. Now what we are looking today will be run out of the dime 2-3 formation, and I'm running it out of the 3-4 playbook, but it can be run out of any of these books. Then this is going to be a preview of my new full defensive scheme I am working on, and this should be dropping within the next 2 weeks, and it will be also out of the 3-4 playbook, so this will be able to be used along with it once the full new defense comes out. But before we get into the blitzes, I want to go over one tip that I use a ton in my defensive schemes that is going to allow you to get so many free rushers in at the QB and let you be way more creative defensively. It is starting in a defense that has auto walk downs in it. There are a ton of defenses like this where either safeties or linebackers will walk down and stand in a different area of the field than they normally would. Now this is great because these players will now be in unique areas where they can affect offensive linemen and pull them out of position, allowing others to come in free on the blitz. So that is great, but to take it to the next level, now we want to come out of the huddle calling these plays with the auto walk down, but then at the line we can audible to any other defensive play call we want, and now our auto walk down players will stay down and we can have access to any play call we want while still keeping these auto walk down players in their position. This accomplishes two main things. First, it allows us to get a crazy amount of unique pressure from these looks with full access to a ton of coverage shells behind them. Then the second thing is now we can disguise any coverage or blitz we want pre-snap because these players are always going to stay in these spots even when we audible over, and this is going to lead to a ton of confusion by the QB where we can make some big plays on the football. So in today's video, the blitz we are using with the auto movement is slant zone 2 in dime 2-3, but just to drive it home, this tip will work with any defensive play call that has a built down auto walk down in it, so you can use it in any of your other defensive schemes you are using. So before we get on the field, I want to make sure I set my dime 2-3 audibles like this. Then for coaching adjustments, this is what we are going to go with. First, we have a 4-man pressure, and we are looking at the play cover 3 bluff in dime 2-3. This is a crazy blitz where we're only bringing 4 defenders, and we're going to have our defensive back on the line coming in completely unblocked off the edge, and he's going to fire in and make a ton of plays on the QB. This is all done with a cover 3 defensive coverage on the back end with 3 deep zones with your safety and cornerbacks, then 2 players locking down the flats, and then as the user, you're responsible for the middle. But because we are only rushing 4 on this play, we actually have a D end dropping over the middle as well. And with the blitz speeding up the QB, this should give us some really good pass defense on the back end. To set this up, once again, make sure your audibles are set this way, then start in slant zone 2, and once you get to the line, audible over to cover 3 bluff. Then all you do for the setup is take the linebacker who walks down on the same side as the nickel, and he'll be your user, and bring him over the center. Then lastly, QB contain, and that is the whole setup. This blitz excels when they send everyone out on routes, and if they have no extra blockers, then our DB edge heat should come in every time and create a ton of big plays in the backfield. And this blitz is just so amazing because the fact we are only rushing 4 on this play and we can get consistent easy pressure at the QB. Then for the coverage aspect of this play, as the user, you want to mug this gap, then bail out as soon as you can, and you're going to have the middle of the field, and if you see anyone bust open, you want to cut under it and make a play. And because we have this extra player dropping out in coverage over the middle, now this can limit some quick hitters, and this is going to make passing the football so much more difficult. Then we still have our back 3 players in deep thirds patrolling back there ready to make plays on the football, and we have our 2 flat defenders playing down there ready to jump anything that comes into their area where they can go the other way with it. Then next up, we have our 6-man blitz with silver shoot pinch in dime 2-3. This is a 0-man pressure that will absolutely fire in at the QB with insanely fast heat and just help you make a ton of plays defensively. With this, if they send their running back out on routes, then we're going to get free edge heat from both sides of the field, and they are going to get in at the QB with insane speed, giving them no shot to find an open player. Then if they block their running back, we're still going to get a free rusher coming off the edge, making this an amazing blitz to use if they start blocking extra players. Then coverage wise, this is going to be a classic 0-man blitz with one-on-one coverage across the board, and your defenders have to be able to hold up in in coverage if the blitz isn't able to come in. To set this up, once again, make sure your audibles are set like this in dime 2-3, then start in slant zone 2, and once you get to the line, audible over to silver shoot pinch. Now for this blitz, once again, take the walk down LB who is on the same side as the nickel and bring him over the center, and then you want to blitz all linebackers, and then lastly QB contain, and that is the whole setup. Then for our coverage, we have one-on-ones across the board, so you need to have decent man players who run with their receivers long enough until the blitz can come home, and you want some playmakers that when the ball is in the air, they can step in front and make a play. Then as a user, you have the player who's uncovered in man coverage, and that will usually be a tight end or a running back, and if they leave on a route, cover them in man-to-man and wipe them out if they throw them the ball. Then if you are in man and your player stays into blocks, and we just want to play over the middle and help on anyone we see come open, and we want to take these players away. Then if you want to take this defense to the next level, you need to check out my website, Scheme Kings. Up right now is part 2 of this video, where I will give you 2 more plays out of this dime 2-3 with another great heavy blitz that we are going to use to crank up the pressure and help make some big plays, and then another coverage option that is going to look the same as our blitzes pre-snap, but can give you a really nice lockdown coverage look on the back end. Then also on the site, there's a new area where you can find all my schemes for Madden 23, and this is where my current Madden 24 NFL spread offense is, and there's a ton up for this scheme so far. We have our Bills Josh Allen offense, we have our Joe Burrow Bengals scheme, our Jalen Hurts Eagles offense, and our Patrick Mahomes Chiefs offense. So if you want to check out Scheme Kings, it will be linked down in the description below. Then for our drop zone coverage, we have the play slant zone 2 and dime 2-3. This is going to be a lockdown coverage. It can help make us a ton of plays on the football and is a great complement to our blitzes. But the other great part of this is, though it is a heavy coverage, if they send everyone out, we can still get edge heat only rushing 4 in a very similar way to our cover 3 bluff blitz. Then the coverage look is going to be a cover 2 look with 2 deep blue safeties. Then our 2 corners are going to be locking down the flats, and we are going to have 3 hook defenders over the middle, including a 3 receiver hook we are dropping out, and this is going to give us a great lockdown coverage on the back end. But then this can also give us some really nice unblocked pressure off the edge, making this probably my favorite defensive play call I have used all year. To set this up, just come out in slant zone 2, then take the nickel corner who is blitzing and bluff blitz him. This will put him on a 3 receiver hook over the middle, which is a really amazing zone to have. Then once again, take the walk down linebacker who is on the same side as the nickel and walk him over the center, and he's going to be our user. Then you want to slant your D-line out and QB contain, and that is the whole setup. Now for the coverage aspect of this play, the 3-rec over the middle will do an amazing job of picking up the receivers and will react almost like another user in the middle of the field, and if they test him, he can make some plays on the football. Then as the user, you want to mug the gap, and then at the snap, you want to jump out and just try to take away anything you see coming free and patrol the whole middle. Then with our flat players on the outside, you can shade up with your coverage, and this will keep your flat defenders back and sitting on some deeper routes like corner routes where they can step underneath and can make some big plays. Then you also can shade down pre-snap, and this will put hard flats on the field, and I like to do this in 3rd or 4th and short. And now you're going to play low, take away any quick hitters that they try to force in there, and this can lead to some bad balls into coverage. Now this blitzing scheme is really going to help you play defense so much better. But don't forget, part 2 is available right now on Scheme Kings, giving you a ton more options to take this defense to the next level. But to pair with this defensive scheme, you need a super explosive offense, and my new Jalen Hurts Eagles scheme is one of my favorite I have used all year. And if you want to check it out for yourself, then click this video right here.